Let's get ready for Monday Mortgage Minute with your hosts, Tom McNamara and Bruce Woodburn.
I still can't get over that introduction.
You know what, Bruce, I got to tell you, it's been an entire year. We've been doing this today, and that introduction has been going for a year, and you still can't believe it.
I love it. Every time I feel it, I feel like I'm getting on the UFC or something, you know. Here comes awesome. Bruce Woodburn, the Lone Ranger, right? He's right. In the super heavyweight class.
I'm getting up there as well, my friend. Hey, listen, I don't know if everybody notices, but we're Bruce and I are out here in Daytona today. We're on Bruce's boat together. This is a first. We're doing a broadcast from not from our offices, or at least
from Lil Yachty.
On the Yachty. Yeah, on the Yachty, right? It's a good time. So Bruce, but we didn't want to miss doing this show. So let's go ahead and get out the important information that we were chatting about, right? So, I am seeing an awful lot of activity in searches, right? So we get to see whether people are signed up for searches, but we also get to see if people are actually looking at homes. And right. Searches online are surging dramatically.
I don't know what happened when January 3rd did, but everybody started jumping in. My business has literally exploded. I have so many new buyers. I'm literally seeing 2-3 contracts a day coming into my office. It's like the tap just turned on and the water started flowing out of a fire hose. So that's really good. I mean, it's good for our business. It's good that people are they don't have to pay 8.25%. Now they can be in the mid 6s, even the low 6s.
Yep.
So I think that they finally were like, you know what? I've been holding off for far too long. I'm ready to jump in the market. What do I need to buy?
Yeah, so obviously when this happens, right? I talk to a lot of people that have either never bought a home or people that are maybe buying for the first time in a decade or more, and the process is a little either just unfamiliar or it's new to them. So I thought, we should probably go through the basics of like what you need, like the top 3 things, like what
top 3 things you got to do to buy a house. This is
it. Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Starting with number 1, do not settle for a pre-qualification. Get your loan fully approved through my fast track program. Most loans that are pre-qualified, the lender pulls the credit report, pre-approved, they document that your pay stubs, W-2s, your photo ID, whatever they need. And then the loan officer writes a pre-approval letter and you go out and you shop. But 67% of transactions that have a mortgage on it have some type of a problem and have dissatisfied clients during the process. I don't want that to happen. 67 is way too high.
Bruce, I had that happen all the time. So I handle a lot of listings, right? And as a listing agent, one of the top things that I do to make sure that my listings close on the first contract that comes through is I interview the loan officer.
Good for you.
I call them. I ask them a lot of questions. Some of them are probably questionable, whether I should even ask them or not. But I really want to dig in and know what's going on with that buyer, who they really are, who the loan officer is, how good they are, whether they're underwritten, whether they've gotten all their documents, whether they're fast at providing new information that's needed. And, if I've got 3 offers, I'm going to pick the loan officer that I'm the most confident in.
Probably a smart idea. Probably a smart idea. So that, and if you're listening out there, you're a real estate agent, you must vet the loan officer. Listen, 100%. I'm a loan officer. I run a big branch, but I'm going to tell you something. I have met countless loan officers that would just as soon shoot first and ask questions later. Don't settle for that when it comes to your pre-approval. Ask the hard questions. Get down to whether it's really going to be a deal that's going to close or not. Know what conditions are on. So I do something that's beyond the pre-approval. It's called fast track. And that is where, Tom, I'll take that pre-approval and I'll send it to my underwriting team and let them underwrite it. Most banks and mortgage companies don't underwrite a loan till after the inspection's done. What are inspections running right now? $400,
$350,
right?
$400, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
And then the appraisal, $600 for appraisal these days.
Yep.
So you're in for an inspection appraisal. You're into the thing for over $1,000, and then the lender sends you to underwriting after the appraisal and everything's been done. Why not get that out of the way in advance? So my number one piece of advice is get a solid approval. It also, now, can you negotiate better for a buyer if you know the loan has been already underwritten? I mean, can we do a 10-day close, right?
I tell you, when I have a really good agent on the other side of my listing that comes to me with, hey, listen, here's my buyer, here's the loan officer, they're fully pre-approved, mostly underwritten, just waiting for a property. I hear those kind of things, and my confidence level goes through the roof, right?
Sure.
As to what it's going to close. And at the end of the day, anybody selling a house, yeah, they want the most money, blah, blah, blah. But really, they just want the freaking thing sold.
And they want it to close smoothly with a lot less headaches. So number two, number one, full approval. No questions. You need to know what your payments are going to be. You need to know how much cash to close you're going to have. You want to know if there's any points involved, any buy downs. You want to know everything. There should be no surprises at this point.
Correct.
Number two thing falls on the real estate agent. So this is important because as a consumer, you have to be completely honest with your realtor. If you're hiding things that you want that are a non-negotiable, like, Ben, did you tell Tom that we need a backyard that's fenced in because we have 2 Great Danes? Did you not tell him that? You must be completely upfront with people so Tom does not waste your time in his searching for properties that don't meet your needs.
Absolutely. So, I tell you, man, that's probably the biggest time waster on my side when I have buyers that don't really give me solid criteria. And I don't know that they're necessarily hiding something. They're just not thinking about telling me about stuff. And I have to be, Nancy Drew or some other kind of detective to figure out what the heck it is that they really want. Or I'm going to tell you a really fun one is when husband wants X, wife wants Y, right?
And that's not that uncommon, though.
It's 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of how much they're each willing to compromise, right? And we all know that 90% of the time the wife's going to win, but the husband needs to get something, right? And so usually it's the garage or the backyard.
It's either the garage or a man shed or something of that nature. I want a yard. I can put a garden in. The wife is usually, I need a nice kitchen that I can entertain. I need I want a nice master bathroom or a walk-in closet. So
we really have to know those things. We have to know what they want. So we got to really know what they need. Like, I need 3 bedrooms because I've got kids, or I need a 4th bedroom because one of them needs to be an office, or grandma comes down and lives with us for 4 months out of the year. I need to know that, right? But then those are absolutes, like gotta haves, right? Sure. And then I need to know, like, I'd really like. Okay, I'd really like means that if it wasn't there, but all the other stuff was there, you'd probably still buy it, right? Or at least consider it, right? A lot of times I'll like to have is a pool, or I'd like to have is a big fenced yard. Maybe I'll take a small fenced yard,
So the point is you got to be open and communicate with your real estate
100%.
agent. It's super important. Number 3 reason. What do we got here?
You've got to be ready. This is, I think, the biggest. I'm going to say the biggest besides the first 2. It's kind of funny, right? But you've got to be ready to pull the trigger. You've got to be ready to pull the trigger and not hesitate, because when the right property comes along and you're pre-approved, you need to be ready to go and not hesitate, because good properties still sell super fast.
Sure they do.
As long as they're priced right and they're in good condition and they're in the right areas and all that other stuff, man, they're selling like that.
And you do find people that have anxiety over pulling the trigger, don't you?
Absolutely. I run into them all the time, and I deal with them all the time, and I love to help them. I want to get them over, but I shouldn't be convincing you that it's the right house to buy. That's not my job.
You cannot. There's not a realtor on the planet that can convince a client to buy a house they don't want. But and so here's the way I pictured it. I actually view number 3 as mindset. So as a consumer, is your mindset in a position to where you just would like to buy a home, or you are going to buy a home? Okay. So, and that means that are you in a proper mindset to say, when I find what I really think I like, and that's never going to be perfect. All of you listening out there, there's no such thing as every box is checked. You might find most of the boxes, but if I can get 9 out of 10 of the boxes checked, am I ready to pull the trigger? Because he who hesitates is lost. And I find people, they're like, I like it. And then they don't do it. And then, I'm sorry, man, we got another offer on this thing.
Oh yeah. And then they come back. I wish I would have bought this one. I wish I would have bought that one. It happens all the time. So yeah. So you've got to be prepared to know what you want. That's number 1, right? Know what you can afford, what you can get, and how much it's going to cost you. You need to be honest and upfront. Tell your real estate agent everything you want, everything you need, everything you'd like to have. You got to tell them all those things, and all the absolute cannot. Like, I cannot have this. I cannot have that.
Right.
I need to
know
your
that non-negotiables?
Yeah. Non-negotiable. And then you need to be just ready to freaking pull the trigger, and go for it when those things hit, because you don't want to regret not buying a house that you would have wanted.
No, you don't. And you know what? I think that in all reality, even though I'm in the business of helping people finance homes, and you're in the business of helping people find their dream home, we're actually in the crisis mitigation business, right? Because there's so much emotion. Oh, I didn't know my payment was going to be that high. I didn't know that I was going to need that much out of pocket. I didn't know that we had to, what we're going to deal with this house. And I didn't realize that houses could have termites or need a new roof, or my insurance was going to be this price. These are the things that you want a professional that's not going to dismiss your concerns. Listen, and here's why Tom and I love working together. If there's a problem, we're going to address the problem. And if it's something that you perceive as a problem, then that's your perception, and your perception is your reality. I'm not going to go, when a client comes to me and goes, oh my God, Bruce, that payment is way higher than I can afford. And I'm like, dude, you got a 28 back-end debt ratio. This is way lower than you can afford. That's me talking as a lender. You can't say that to a client. You have to say, I understand this payment may seem a lot higher than you wanted. Let's talk about what payment you would like. And then can we find a house that's going to match that payment? And that's matching the house to the payment, to the cash to close. And that's why you want to choose somebody like Tom and I. We can lend in all 50 states. Okay. Absolutely. We've got, between Tom and I got 35 years experience. He's been in the business for 142 years. He sold Moses his first house. Okay. So Tom's been doing this a long time, but in all reality, we're here to help you. And I'm going to tell you, don't make things harder than they have to be. But when they seem hard, you want somebody that's there to help you through it. And that's where Tom and I are here.
Absolutely. Bruce, I am looking forward to helping a whole bunch of people this year with you. And you know what? This is our first big one of 2024. So salute to you.
No better time than to do it on the yacht.
We got to do some more of these, my friend.
Yes, we do.
I will see you in about 30 seconds.
Yes, you got it, buddy. Good to see you.
All right.